So the first step is problem identification. This is a very important step. It's the most important step in the whole process, because when you identify your problem, first of all, it means that you acknowledge your problem. Many times in life, we go through life resisting life internally and not deny our problems. We don't acknowledge that we have problems. We have problems in certain areas. We have problems in our relationships, and those problems persist because we simply don't sit and think about them or acknowledge them, or we don't do anything about them. So problem identification is a very, very important step. Another important thing in problem identification is that we need to pay attention to the fact that there is a difference between symptoms and the problem, the symptoms of a problem and the problem itself. For example, if you have a fever, taking aspirin addresses your problem, but addresses the symptom of the problem, not the problem itself. The root of the problem might be an infection. So the better way to deal with that problem is to cure the infection rather than taking aspirin to just take care of the fever. So other examples, like for example, if you're angry at your partner, anger is a secondary emotion. Usually beneath the anger, there is hurt, resentment. So if you identify your problem as anger, you will go, when you want to solve this problem, you will think about anger management techniques or things like that. Whereas when you think about the problem as the hurt, you start thinking what caused the hurt, in what kind of situations you get hurt, and you see the problem completely differently. So it will help you solve the problem in a much better and more effective way. Or for example, another example, you find yourself playing video games a lot, like people who have video gaming addictions. So if you think that the problem is that you play video games too much, you might start thinking about behavior modification and ways you can reduce this habit. But it's good to sit and think why you do that. I had a client who played a lot of video games because she felt really lonely. She felt a void, and she was thinking that, I need to. She was not, of course, thinking consciously, but unconsciously she was trying to feel a void. Or another example would be stress. Stress can have a lot of reasons. If you want to manage your stress, it's good to think about the reasons of stress. What gives you stress in life? When you identify what gives you stress, you can find a much better solution to this problem. Or if you have uncomfortable relationship with somebody in your life, like your boss, for example, if you identify your problem as uncomfortable relationship, you cannot do much about it. But if you ask yourself, why do I feel uncomfortable, you might find the reason, which is the real problem. You might find out that you have difficulty saying no to your boss, or you might find that like your boss reminds you of someone in your past, like one of your parents, or somebody who was really scary, like a teacher or somebody. Or the problem with the boss can be a simple misunderstanding. It can be anything. But the fact that you identify it correctly helps you tremendously in finding the solution.